ladies and gentlemen. So today we are going to be covering our conjunction of Sun, Moon, Mars, Rahu. And what happens when these three planets are conjunct in your horoscope. And as always, if you do not know if you have this conjunction and what other conjunctions you have, what sign they're in, what nakshatra they're in, all the other astrological details. For that, check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, including my books, Astrology, Conjunction, Aspects, and Mahadashas at the Speed of Light, including all my readings and consultations at this link. So, Sun, Moon, Mars, and Rahu conjunction. Woo! Man, this is 4th of July. Is it Diwali? Because there's a lot of fireworks going on here, baby. So, Sun, as you know, represents the father, part of your ego, your personality, your self-esteem, your character in life. Represents authorities, government. Mars represents younger brothers, male friends. It's your energy, it's your strength, it's your willpower. Mars represents technology, engineering. Moon is your mind. Moon is a soft little mind looking for happiness, comfort, and peace. And Rahu, which explodes everything. Rahu, which tries to boost everything. Rahu, which represents something that we're not. Something which is magical, illusionary. Something which happens, which looks like true, but it's not true. That is Rahu. So what happens when these four planets are conjunct in your horoscope? Well, the first thing you will notice is that your brother fights a lot with your father. Your father might be in military, government, or in a place where he might even be a coach, like a sports coach. There's sports coach out there who have sons. You could be their son. You could be that daughter. Father is the most strongest personality you have ever come across. And this is why your mind is always in tense mode whenever you see your father. Your mother really chose your father as her husband, yet she was also kind of forced into the situation, but she was also kind of like wanting to do it. Weird, right? But true. And mother and father usually have tremendous amount of arguments because the father does not want to back down and the mother doesn't want to back down. Your mother is a stubborn person. When she says this is how it goes, this is how it's going to go. Because remember, conjunction of Mars and Moon creates stubbornness. Like, that's it. This is me. This is who I am. And just don't come between me. But also, mother is forced to be subservient to the father. So this is why you see this tension that comes into play. You always tend to be competitive and get angry if somebody defeats you in sports, somebody defeats you in your work and competition. You're the kind of person who just is not able to control your anger. When it comes, you can kill someone. Somebody pushes you, you'll close your eyes and you'll punch them so hard, you may broke their nose and the bone can hit the brain and boom, they can die. So please, please, do not go to any bars at night. Do not go to any clubs, especially places where you know wrong people will come in, because the wrong person aggravates you. That's it. It's done. And I've seen cases where actually I had this case back in 2007 or 8. One of my friends, when I was doing a lot of filmmaking, I looked at a horoscope of this person. What happened is I learned about the situation firsthand. Then I looked at the horoscope. This person was a medical student, med student, was going to go to, John Hopkins University. 2 days before he was to leave for his medical education, he went to a bar and a club with his friends. And man, this guy's like a Punjabi guy, you know, and he got into a rough and tuffle with someone. And one of the friends got hit, so he punched the other person. And there was some wood or stick next to it, and he beat the guy so badly that he was paralyzed. And that's it. It was over. He got jail time for like 4 years. Medical school gone, everything gone. Just life changed in one moment, and he had Sun, Moon, Mars, Rahu conjunction, and especially receiving the aspect of Saturn. So, yeah, this is why I always, whenever I see this conjunction, I tell people, whenever you are trying to do something good and something big, do not even try to get into a fight, because the energy of Rahu is trying to aggravate that situation. These people make brilliant surgeons. They'll make great athletes, soldiers, marines, fighters, because there's so much aggression, okay? There's so much aggression that you have to exert it out in a physical form. So if you're a policeman, you're always on alert. You're out there to get the bad guy. That's your motivation. If you're an athlete, you're running, you're fighting, you're guarding somebody in basketball. That's where your energy is going, and that's where you, like after playing sports, that's when this energy is just calm. And especially if you are doing something technical, where your mind is at fully concentrated on that technical aspect, whether it's softwares, aerospace, engineering, that's where the mind will feel at peace. Like, okay, I'm not distracted by all the other nonsense where the garbage is around me. I'm concentrating on how to build this software. Because if I'm not building this software, then I'm going to be distracted by all these other garbage of life, which really aggravates me compared to an average person. And especially if this is occurring in the fire sign, most definitely your father has to be connected to military, government, police, criminal justice somehow. I mean, I've seen people who may even have had fathers, be in prison. That's a criminal justice system. So either way, I mean, you just have to see the dignity of each planet, which planet is becoming strong. In the fire sign, obviously, Sun and Mars will be the strongest. Pretty much every planet becomes, imagine you took 3 fiery planets, you put Moon in it, and then you put them on the top of a stove. This is the kind of analogy you have to look at with a conjunction. And since Sun is the biggest planet, Mars is the second biggest planet, they're definitely going to overpower Moon. And Rahu hates Sun and Moon. So what is Rahu going to do here? He's going to eclipse your soul and your mind to do wrong things, make wrong decisions. And especially if Rahu has the highest degree. Why Rahu having the highest degree is quite troublesome for this person, because of the fact Rahu is moving backwards. All the planets are moving forward. So they're coming close. But if, let's say, Rahu is past if all the other planets have the highest degree, Rahu is past, Rahu is moving backwards. Its energy, its direction is that way. All the other planets are that way. It's just that they're in the same sign, in the same house, which means they're in the same room. But Rahu is going out. He's leaving. These guys are concentrating on watching some TV show on the thing. So there's not too strong of an interaction. There still is. But when it's coming together, I mean, this person has to do a lot of exercise. Forget even meditation and peace. Do meditation after you run, exercise, and exert your energy. Because what happens with this, especially if this occurs in the 12th house, there's too much going on in your head when you are at peace. You can't sit down and concentrate. Like when you sit and you meditate, you have so much more trouble coming to the center of your body than anybody else. Why? Because these planets are boiling. The way to cool these planets down is to make yourself heated. And when you are, just like, okay, I'm done playing sports, that's when you meditate. That's where this calmness will come into play. And also you will notice with this person, if this occurs in the 1st or 7th house, and especially if this conjunction is being aspected by Saturn. I remember the sloka. I was actually talking to Ernest 2 years ago on this, when I had this one gentleman who was doing PhD, yet he was like going mentally insane. He had bipolar. He was also kind of schizophrenic. And I remember sending this to Ernest. I'm like, Ernest, check this chart out. So that's when he told me this one sloka, and I remember he had this 4 conjunction with the aspect of Saturn in the 1st and 7th axis. So this is a very, very powerful conjunction where only when you are in dominating positions, that's when you will not really exert the bad side of this conjunction. Like if you're in charge, you don't need to go out and fight. You just have to say the command and they'll be done, and planets will stay calm. But especially if these planets are more than 10 degrees apart from each other, then it's not going to be as strong of a thing. But if they're like less than 5 degrees of each other, I mean, that's when, you know, you either are a very powerful person, a great fighter, or you're just waiting to be exploded, you know. So, but also nakshatra make a lot of difference. Which nakshatra it's in? Is the nakshatra aggravating this conjunction? That is also should be seen. Okay. So guys, this was my analysis of Sun, Moon, Mars, Rahu conjunction. If you do not subscribe below, again, if you want to know where your conjunction is, all the astrological details, reports, books, and my consultations, for that, click this link here. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow with something special. Bye-bye.